Public Protector Busisiwe Mkhwebane has been embroiled in several high-profile cases involving President Cyril Ramaphosa and Public Enterprises Minister Pravin Gordhan. The president has taken Mkhwebane's adverse findings against him on judicial review. The ANC has described the standoff between the Public Protector and the president as a distraction. This as the country attempts to shake off low growth and rising unemployment. Well, brand expert Soli Moeng says Brand SA is also taking a knock from all of this. He joins me now from our Cape Town studios. Soli, good evening. Thank you very much for your time. Now you list all these incidents or cases I've just mentioned and more. And really one point you are making is that all these people, in fact, every person has a duty and a responsibility to manage their brand, whether it's a Trevor Manuel, whether it's a Cyril Ramaphosa, or whether it's the country, South Africa. Take us through just the premise you are moving from.
Well, the premise I'm moving off from is that if you manage reputation, if destination reputation, in this case, South Africa as a country destination reputation, you need to have credible leaders. You need to have a good sense of values. We need to have a good sense of the vision. Where are we taking the country to? But if the leaders are themselves problematic reputationally, then all the focus that is supposed to be on on the work they're supposed to be doing for the country ends up being focused on the wrong things, on why these people are the ones who are sitting in those chairs, and if they are the right people, if they can be the ones to be trusted to solve the issues that we face as a country, for instance, if they are the ones who are also involved in some of those things. So we have a situation now where instead of focusing on a Ramaphosa, a Gordhan, and a new administration that is going to help South Africa get away from state capture, we are now focused on them, on whether they did wrong, on whether or not they are not better men and women than the men they're trying to remove from power, or they've removed from power, or they're supposed to have removed from power.
Well, I mean, the Public Protector insists that she's doing her job. And so do other people. If you look at the case of Old Mutual versus Peter Moyo. Peter Moyo was here last week, very confident that he is doing the right thing for his brand, because he believes Brand Moyo is about to take a knock. Old Mutual is making the same argument that they have to do this because this company that's so old and so important for our economy, its reputation and brand reputation is at stake. So you have everybody basically saying they're doing what is right for their brand, which in essence is the argument you are making, that everyone or every institution should actually fight for the reputation of its brand.
Yeah, but reputation management is not spin. You have to tell the truth. If you've done something that you know is wrong and it's going to hurt your reputation or is hurting your reputation, the first thing you have to tell is tell the truth, tell all of it as early as possible, tell us how it came to be that the thing happened and what you're going to put in place to make sure it never happens again. I think in the case of Trevor Manuel, he's stuck in two shoes here. The one, first of all, he won the first round in his battle with the EFF, but maybe the next one is still coming. But he lost his first battle with Peter Moyo. He has a lot more to lose than Peter Moyo, because there are questions for which he hasn't provided answers. Old Mutual and Trevor Manuel have to tell us how it came to be that this listed company chose to pay the legal fees of a chairperson of its board, legal fees that are part of a battle that the company is not supposed to be party to. They haven't explained that. They still need to come back to us. And Trevor Manuel needs to tell us if there is wrongdoing in the payment of these legal fees. He has to tell us why he allowed his name to be embroiled in such a thing. He's a very important person. He's also in President Ramaphosa's, big team that's supposed to be going around the world, getting the world of investors to realize that actually there's still business that can be made in South Africa. They can trust the new administration. But if he himself has got all these shadows that are being cast over his brand, his reputation, which has been sterling up to now. It's a big problem. If Ramaphosa also has the same questions running over his head, being whether it's true or not, it doesn't matter. The fact is, he's suddenly having to focus his attention on these little skirmishes that are happening around his reputation instead of focusing on rebuilding the country.
Now, I mean, the conflicts you're citing, whether it's Ramaphosa versus Public Protector or Old Mutual versus Peter Moyo, I mean, in all of them these days, the stakes are so high and reputations are the least consideration, it would seem. Certainly for those involved. Considering the fact that every fight, every war, every conflict has its supporters and detractors, and often the truth, disappears. What does one do?
Well, look, in the end, because these processes are already underway, the courts must help us get these people out of the quagmire, the reputational quagmires they find themselves in. Ramaphosa can't just dismiss Mkhwebane. Whether Mkhwebane is factually correct or not, he has to go through the process. Same thing with Pravin Gordhan. But we know that, we, the rest of us South Africans, are reduced to having to support the least of the devils. We know that Ramaphosa, from everything we've seen, his intentions are very good for South Africa. He wants to save this country from the madness that has been taking place over the past 10 years. So for that reason, we have to hope that he is correct, that everything that is being thrown at him is just it's untrue. There's no factual basis to any of it, so that he can continue with the job that we, the rest of us, want to see him doing for South Africa. But he cannot just wish it away. Mkhwebane, it's very clear also that Mkhwebane has been consistent in the kind of battles that she's been chosen to. And we have the ANC is factionalized. She's been very clear about which of the two factions she's been supporting. We have no idea why she's doing these things. But she has a position that she occupies, which is really, really important. And we can't just dismiss it. We have to follow through. But it's not good for South Africa. And the people who are supporting Mkhwebane, the EFF, the Ace Makashule, and all these other people, they have no interest of South Africa at heart. South Africa needs to get out of this quagmire. South Africa needs to be seen to be getting away from state capture, so that work is being done to rebuild our economy, to re-strengthen our institutions. But Ramaphosa, Pravin Gordhan, and others who are working closely can't focus on the task while they're being attacked in the way that they're being attacked.
So you do accept then that as much as it is undesirable and not good for brand South Africa, we need the courts to rule on these matters and hopefully settle them once and for all. But here's something I want to also explore with you. I mean, you make reference in your piece to reputational battles that take place outside, or that these reputational battles take place outside of the courts as well, on social media platforms where there's no shortage of, and to quote you, uninformed or biased social media opinionistas. Should people stop doing their jobs, or not go to the courts, or stop dedicating themselves from causes that they believe in, simply because there are trolls out there on social media platforms that are forever willing and prepared to insult one at every opportunity?
Look, social media, digital media platforms are here to stay, and they're going to be here for many years to come, by the look of things. People must just learn to know how to navigate these waters. Don't do things that are going to end up pushing you against the wall on the defensive. If you have done wrong, and again, if you have done wrong, the best way to kill wrong is to admit it as early as possible, so that the world can move on. But while you're playing games, delaying games, pushing the can down the road, hoping that people will forget it or nobody will catch it, while waiting for processes of the courts. The thing is, the social media conversations Don't rely on facts all the time, and it's whether people like you or not. EFF people will support the EFF leader. They will support Mkhwebane. They will support the factions that are being to which the EFF leader belongs. So they don't care about the facts. So it's important that if you manage your personal brand, whether you're President Ramaphosa, Pravin Gordhan, Hanekom, or anyone else, make sure that you don't feed these opinionistas with information that's going to come back and push you onto the back foot. There are ways to manage these things, but people are just too careless.
That's where we're going to leave it this evening. Thank you very much for talking to us, Soli Mweng, who is a brand reputation specialist, talking to us from Cape Town. Well,